Greetings, Mason Storm here. So I had some minced turkey and I didn't want to make the normal burgers, meatballs, or tacos, so I decided to go with a bit of a melt. And this is how I did it. I have half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder, a couple cloves of garlic that I crushed, a teaspoon of mustard, some diced up onions, chicken broth, grated cheese, of course my minced turkey, and some potatoes that I cubed up. I'm going to start our process off with the pan on the stove top, nice warm hot heat, a little bit of oil to aid in the cooking process, and we're going to begin by browning our turkey. And the browning process is exactly what you expect it to be. Just like making tacos, just mix it around and probably 5 minutes later or so it's all going to be browned. Although it doesn't really turn brown like beef, but that's okay. But now we're going to add in our onions and our potatoes. Now at this point in time you got a couple of choices in your cooking method. I'm going to do the long slow method, so it gets a little bit intense. But you might want to augment your heating to a lower level so you don't just sear your potatoes. But you can probably cook them for a while before you have to turn down the temperature, and the onions will get nice and soft in that amount of time, and that's all good. It's all good and fun. Now you can keep cooking it like this for probably 15-20 minutes, and you can cook the potatoes till they're all good and tender. But I did something a little different. I added in my broth as well as my spices, and I'm just going to reduce my heat, and I'm going to do a nice light simmer until all of the broth is gone. And that takes about an hour or so, but it really just drives in flavors into the meat and the potatoes and the onions, and it's just fabulous. But if you wanted to make this thing quicker, you could just kind of fry it up till stuff's good and skip to the next step after the arduously long simmering process. And as you saw earlier in the video, I didn't put all my potatoes in because my pan was too small, so I did another pan and just kind of cooked more potatoes and onions, and I added them in once everything kind of shriveled up a little bit more. But if you're really good, you don't run into that, or not as often. So now that our stuff is kind of dried out, I'm going to add in my cheese on the top, and I've already turned on the broiler on the oven. And we're going to be throwing this whole thing into the oven with the broiler on. And that's just going to be awesome. It's going to melt the cheese, maybe kind of sear it a little bit, and it's just going to be fantastic. As far as broiling goes, broiling is usually something you really want to watch. So check it every couple minutes to see what it looks like. And once you got some nice kind of color going on, a little bit of charring maybe, you just pull her out and you're good to go. It's all ready to serve. And this dish was really quite fantastic, and I think this principle could be used in making something bigger like a pot pie. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, or suggestions for what to do next with something like this. If you like my content, please like and subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome.